shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the canoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Armchair Mma. This is Joshua, as always, and today I've got with me
Noe Lopez
for the second time. Not only are you my first guest, but you're also my first repeat guest on the show. So that's pretty.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. You're the only other human that's ever been seen. You know, the first time you were on, we had my little son here being crazy, so it was a little distracting.
A little rapscallion.
Little T-bear. But today we ought to be able to have a little bit more controlled environment and do real good with it. But the point of the podcast today is that we're going to be covering UFC 284 as well as a quick look at the fight card that went down between 283 and 284, the Lewis and Spivak card. And then we're also going to look ahead to some of the fights in between and leading up to and including UFC 285. Just talking about, you know, what's coming up on the horizon and what looks fun. And, you know, if we've got time and vigor, maybe we'll talk about some general MMA news, pull up one of the major MMA news talk about 3 or 4 of the things they got going on.
Sounds good.
Which, on the subject of news, you heard that Connor and Chandler's on?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting just because, like, Chandler is so, like, straight-laced, like he's just an average guy. He's not a shit talker.
I mean, they made it work with Khabib.
That's fair. But yeah, but Khabib is a different vibe.
Yeah, Khabib.
He's very stoic.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think that they really need to. I don't think they need to do much. I think that the average person out there in the world is going to watch just because Connor's there, and all the hardcores who know what the fuck is up with Michael Chandler aren't going to miss this for the goddamn apocalypse. So, like, all the bases are covered, bro. That's going to be a home run. That's probably going to be one of the highest selling pay-per-views of all time, for sure.
It was an interesting choice to have Chandler. Was it just because of his most recent win? Who did he?
I think it's just perfect, man. I think if you look at lightweight, which firstly, I'm rather shocked that Connor's going to be able to get down to 155. Like, Connor looks like he weighs 300 pounds most of the time. Like I see pictures of him on Instagram and I'm like, that's fucking Photoshop. Like,
he's pretty jacked right now. Yeah,
he's very big. He's gotten way big, and so it's gonna be nuts to see him get down to 155 for me. I didn't think that's where he was gonna be fighting at moving forward. I thought that he was gonna be trying to go for 170. I thought that 170 looked kind of good for him right now with Leon Edwards being the champ, because that's like the most beatable person at 70 for Connor. I think that's like one of the only people who could go in there and really beat. Like, Khamzat devours him, Colby devours him, Usman eats him alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at the top of 170.
Yeah,
it's not friendly for Connor anywhere except for at the championship level. And so I thought maybe he'd come back and like get one good fight and then sneak in there and try and take the belt at 170.
Has Chandler had another fight since knocking out Tony Ferguson?
I can't remember. Mikey, can you look up Michael Chandler's most recent fight? So we'll get back to that, but I mean, the bottom line is that he's in the top rankings, right? He's in the top 5 or so, and he's a really exciting fighter, and it's really winnable for Connor. And so, like, all the boxes that you want to check in terms of what the promotion would want, I think it nailed it.
It was a good, like, stylistic matchup for him.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I would have rather seen him in Gaethje, but I mean,
but that's less winnable.
Exactly.
That's less winnable. That's
want a real fucking challenge.
For
Connor.
Well, Chandler's a real challenge.
It is.
Chandler's an animal.
He's a little bit of a knucklehead the way he fights, though. He has a tendency to brawl a little too much.
Yeah, but I mean, so does Gaethje. Which, I mean, that's kind of...
I think him working with Trevor Whitman, he's way more tactical now, and he's a lot more, like, conscious of, oh, shit, let me fight a little more defensive, let me counter-strike, let me not just sit here, put up a high guard, and just fucking, throw these leg kicks. And
I think that he's definitely turned a corner in terms of just being given a game plan by an excellent coach, and then being whipped into shape so that he can execute on a game plan, right? Like, that's one of the things that I always remark on about the Dagestani fighters is how just the mental fortitude that they possess and their ability to follow through on a difficult game plan, right? Like even when it's hard, like those guys stick to their guns, and you know sometimes it doesn't get them the win, but like the fact that like a lot of guys, there's a quote from Mike Tyson: "Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the face."
Yeah.
Well, those Dagestani guys, they still got a plan. Like they're still doing it.
Do you think that like the religion ties in like it has to tie in with their discipline as well, though?
I have no idea. I mean,
Muslim.
you know, I think a lot of those guys are sincerely fighting for God.
For Allah.
And if you've got that type of energy behind you, bro, that's tough. That's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like the real life people out there who believe that they are like in
righteous
there with the higher power, bro. Like
yeah.
they got that Superman energy for sure. But we've digressed into some bullshit. Let's cover the Lewis and Spivak card real quick. I'm not going to do the prelims. So this was a weird card because there was a thing that the UFC did that I was completely unaware of, called Road to the UFC. You heard of it?
Was it that thing that they had in like China or something?
Yeah, it basically turned into a big China versus Japan tournament, and it culminated at this event, this UFC at the Apex, headlined by Derek Lewis and Sergey Spivak, was the culmination of that event.
That's not the first time they've done it, though, right? They've had like something similar, like an Ultimate Fighter.
They've
like
done some similar stuff, but I don't think they've ever called it that. The Road to UFC.
I think was like the host or some shit like that of that little. I don't know.
I'm unfamiliar, but I mean that's neat. That's neat. I know they've done a bunch. They've done Dana White's Looking for a Fight, Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter. Obviously, Road to the UFC. So they've got a thing about capitalizing on their means of finding new talent, right? Like if we're gonna go and watch fights, we might as well put on the promotion and get the money.
Yeah, so, turn on the cameras and follow surround and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, we've got the money, like WME money, bro. Infinite money printer. Let's go. But so there were several fights. I mean, the names you wouldn't know, but one of the fights that happened was Doo-Ho Choi and Kyle Nelson.
Korean Superboy, or what's his name again?
Yeah, and he had a real long layoff, and they wound up fighting to a draw, even though Doo-Ho Choi had really done enough to win. He just got a point taken away for an illegal headbutt while he was in top mount. He was trying to go for a short elbow and accidentally headbutted the guy, and the ref took a point.
Oh, that sucks.
I mean, he headbutted the shit out of him. So I mean, when it happened, I wasn't mad about it. So he wound up fighting to a decision, but in my heart, Doo-Ho Choi won. You had Marcin Tybura fighting Blagoy Ivanov, and this fight went exactly like you'd have expected it to. You know what I'm saying? Blagoy was trying to counterpunch, and so that didn't really work out too well with him against the guy who was trying to push him against the cage.
Yeah.
And he didn't have really the footwork to circle around like he needed to, so it just turned into like a Marcin Tybura lean against the cage and take you to the ground fest.
Who was Blagoy's training partner?
I have no idea.
He used to train with somebody, and he was like really highly touted.
He's been doing it for forever, so I'm certain he's trained with pretty much everybody at some point. He's Russian.
I think he was like Fedor's old training partner or some shit.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if he had trained with Fedor and them. But then the next fight was Da-Un Jung and Devin Clark, the Brown Bear. And, man, Jung was way bigger than Devin Clark. And Devin Clark's a pretty big old boy. But it seemed like Jung's gas tank kind of gave out after the first round, you know. And
holy shit.
Yeah, exactly, a big old boy. But Devin Clark wrestled him the back 2 rounds of the fight and won it pretty easily. And then, man, the Derek Lewis-Sergey Spivak fight was crazy, man. Sergey Spivak made Derek Lewis look bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
Derek Lewis, I don't believe Derek Lewis landed a single punch. It was incredible.
I would like to see Spivak fight the last guy that Lewis fought. I forgot his name.
Who was the last guy that Derek Lewis fought? Oh, fuck. Did he fight Sergey Pavlovich last time? Oh, man. They have not been doing Derek Lewis any favors, bro.
Fuck no, dude.
Because Sergey Pavlovich is a fucking animal.
Sergey Spivak versus Sergey
wrestler versus a striker, bro.
Sergey versus Sergey, bro.
Sergey versus Sergey with an EY versus an EI.
Fuck yeah. I don't like that value you use, bro.
Is Spivak's the wrestler, and what's the other one's name?
Pavlovich.
Pavlovich is the striker.
Yeah, that guy is fucking built like a fucking tank, bro.
He's like 6 feet wide at the shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, perfect. So that was right. That was Derek Lewis's last fight with Sergey Spivak before this
Pavlovich.
one. Or yeah, Pavlovich, right? Yeah, so it's Sergey and Sergey. They've given Derek 2 Sergeys in a row. That's rough.
Yeah, he's tired of these fucking Russians.
Yeah, man.
They're coming back for what the fuck he did to what's that other fool's name? Volkov. Remember, he said some shit like to like the effect of like fuck Putin or something like that, or I don't like Russians. He pushed off his hat and shoved him. You don't remember that fight?
Oh, I remember. Oh yeah, he knocked him out with less than 10 seconds left after losing the entire fight.
Oh, he was getting whipped.
It was incredible. Yeah, but you know, Derek Lewis swinging and banging, packing that heat can send H-Town, can send anybody out at any time. But he did not get the opportunity against Sergey Spivak. No. Sergey Spivak grabbed a hold of him. I think honestly, he grabbed a hold of him once and he locked his hands, and that was the end of the fight. Like he never let him go, and he wound up choking him out.
You think he's on the decline of his career, considering he's lost to Tuivasa, Spivak, and Pavlovich? Have those been his last 3 fights?
I mean, you know, if we're being honest about trajectory, right? Like at one point he was challenging for championships, right?
And so twice?
Yeah, twice he challenged for a belt. And so, you know, I don't know if we're ever going to see him challenging for belts again. I hope we do. I'm a big fan, but like he's certainly, if the height was challenging for belts, he's certainly right here, right now, right? Like he's not challenging for belts right now. So he's definitely taken a step back. And on top of having taken a step back, he's lost 4 out of his last 5 or some shit like that. And so it's not looking the best, but he's a fun fighter. He cuts great promos. And if you give him somebody outside of the top 15 or barely reaching the top 15, you're probably going to smoke him like a fat blizzy. And so, you know, it's one of those things where he's just finding where in the rankings he's going to wind up settling as a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of motherfucking vicious ass talent on the come up right now. So we're gonna see where he lands, where he winds up catching a couple wins. And
man, I can't wait for Tom Aspinall to come back.
Man, that was such a what happened to him? He blows his knee out or something? What happened?
Yeah, who did Aspinall fight that he fucked his leg up? Is he light heavyweight?
No, he's a heavyweight. He's just very small. He threw a kick, and whenever he stepped back on his leg, it like buckled and did something weird, and he fell over, and that was the fight.
He fought somebody. Was it? Wait.
Tom Aspinall's last fight.
Was it a Biggie Boy? The guy from Suriname?
Oh, Chris Barnett.
No.
Chris Barnett's Biggie Boy.
Is he? Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was the other black dude from Suriname, the one that got knocked out in that weird flurry by Ngannou.
Oh, Biggie Boy. I think you might be right. That's Jairzinho Rosenstrom.
That fucker, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's got Christopher Bell, and Alexander.
Let me see.
Who beat Aspinall?
Oh, Curtis Blades. Yeah, he kicked Curtis Blades in the leg.
I got one black guy confused for another. You can't blame me.
Oh, man, they do not all look the same, bro. No, they've actually done science on like how the further from, they've actually like done it and like seen where like they can mathematically prove where the further someone is from your skin complexion, the harder time you have recognizing faces.
Dude, if you line up the fucking BTS dudes like shoulder to shoulder, I couldn't tell them apart.
Who? BTS?
Fucking K-pop group, bro. It's their genetically modified boy band. Nah, I don't know.
Oh, I definitely think they're growing
more alcohol.
I definitely think that they're growing these new generation of people in laboratories for sure.
But you've seen them, right? They look like you can't tell them apart. It's not racist, bro. Right?
I mean, in all honesty,
no, I mean
they're feminine boys to attract young girls.
It's
gonna be hard to differentiate.
Just leave that bottle there. It's fine.
Huh?
Just leave that bottle.
Okay, cool. What do you call it? Yeah, like my nieces and apparently my daughter can tell them apart. They're like, yeah, you're stupid, Dad. That's so and so.
Well,
and
it's
I'm
like
call me stupid again.
One has his hair spiked. One has his hair swooping that way.
Yeah.
One has his hair swooping that way, and one has it slicked straight back. And so it's like that's probably the only identifiable feature. It's just like slightly differentiating hairstyles and shit. I don't know. You know, whenever you're obsessive about some shit, you'll notice the difference in the wrinkle on something. But you know how kids.
Yeah.
BTS's difference, and you just
pay a little too hard attention. Anyways, where were we?
Well, so we just wrapped up the lead up to 284. And so now we can hop into whatever early prelims you want to talk about. I know that I think you wanted to talk about the
Jenkins.
Yeah, Jack Jenkins, who looked good, man. He looked really, really good. It seemed like pure domination the entire fight. What's getting your pussy so wet about it?
Where do I start? I'm so moist. Dude, apparently he's like broken 3 dudes' like legs.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
Yeah, with kicks.
And bro, that's listen.
Did you see those kicks?
They're so nasty.
How are you not hard right now?
Yeah, well, it makes me cringe. Like, bro, honestly, like watching somebody get slugged in the face bothers me significantly less than watching somebody get leg kicked repeatedly when they're like, you see their leg shutting down and that person just keeps getting hit in the leg. Like for some reason, that just it's so brutal and it just is. These guys get hit in the face and they're just like. No emotion. Adrenaline. These guys get kicked in the leg and they're like, you know what I'm saying?
They're like, fuck, dude.
Fucking dying. And they get kicked there again and you just see, like, you can just see the just terror on some of these guys' faces where they start getting kicked in the leg and all of a sudden they realize their movement's compromised.
It's in between rounds that you see it. Or when they're walking back to the cage, they got that limp where they're like, fuck, dude, like, my leg's gone.
Bro, man, when it's in the fight, like, while they're fighting and you see them and they're trying to, like, stomp it out and just like even trying who
did that?
Anything.
Someone did that recently, like in a fight. They try to stomp back the feeling in their leg.
Yeah, and so it's like, bro, like that's such a it's such a compromised position when you're in there trying to fight when your mobility's gone, and then the fact that they can just keep doing it to exacerbate the problem. It's just such a like ruthless way to fight, dude. Like it's brutal to me, man. I can't get enough of it.
That guy was badass, but to like. Give credit to what's the guy Sheamus, the other guy that he fought. That guy,
Don.
Don Sheamus. That guy held, fucking kept it together pretty fucking good too. Like he had a tough opponent, like in Don Sheamus. Like that guy, like kudos to him, man.
Fucking leg didn't break.
That he took him down, and then like also I think in between rounds they said something about don't underestimate this grappling or something to that effect, and then Jenkins came back out the third round. And was like, "Oh, wrestle, motherfucker! I'm gonna take you down." And so I think that third round he kind of outgrappled him.
Yeah,
which is kind of okay. Shit.
Yeah, that was one of the big selling points. Like, oh shit, he finished his fight like on top. Wow.
Yeah. That guy Jack Jenkins is cool. I want to see more of that motherfucker. I'm
certain we're gonna. This was a big pay-per-view, and he went out there and performed well. He was the last fight of the early prelims, so I'm certain the next fight will be on the prelims, and if he puts on another show, the next fight will be on the main card. Pretty simple trajectory these days. Just keep winning, keep putting on good shows, cutting good promos. Jamie Malarkey won a decision over Francisco Prado.
Yeah, the Argentinian kid who was undefeated. Prado.
He
was like coming in with a lot of hype, a lot of first round finishes or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was like 9 or something. 9 out of 11 finishes were all in the first round.
Shit.
But he just looked outmatched. Jamie, it's like welcome to the UFC, homie. Like it's
experience and fundamentals, bro. And also, I mean,
he had physical tools available to him too.
Yeah, Malarkey has size. Like,
he was bigger. He was bigger than him, right? So he pumped that jab out very effectively. And so, you come to the UFC, and it's like getting drafted into the NFL, right? Where like you were the baller in college, right? And now you go to the NFL, and like everyone is a fucking baller, homie. Like you gotta find a way to be the baller among the ballers.
We're all just as good or better.
Huh?
We're all just as good or better.
I still didn't catch that.
We're all just as good or better than you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You just got brought in. You're at the bottom of the fucking food chain now. And I think a lot of these guys have never experienced the bottom of the food chain. A lot of these guys walk into the gym, they just have an aptitude for fighting, and so they just immediately are somewhere higher up in the food chain, even in their gym the first day they walk in, and so they just like that type of getting big sharked is crazy. Like that guy looked like in between rounds, it looked like he was getting big sharked, homie.
You got a reality check is like fuck. Like
yes, that's the only way to put it. It was like, oh fuck, like this guy's bigger than me, has like physical advantages, seems to be more technical. Like oh shit, like it got to the point where it was very clear to me that Francisco knew there was not a lot he could do. Like he'd kind of tried everything, busted
he was getting outstruck. I think he got out wrestled as well. And
so the next fight on the fight card was Shannon Ross versus Clayton Rodriguez. Do you remember this fight? Were you able to develop an opinion? Let's talk about it.
I could take those guys. Now, let me see.
Not in a fight.
I mean, take them out to dinner. for drinks. You know, they're cute. That Clayton guy, he ended up TKOing the Shannon Ross. He is a wild little shit, a Brazilian dude. What did he hit him with? The body shot. It was a body shot. I just don't remember the strike.
I don't recall either. I have a 2-year-old, and so I might have been like changing a diaper during this fight. Actually, don't really
I just remember at one point while the other guy was hurt, Clayton, the Brazilian cat, he tried some spinning move.
Ooh, I remember
He got a little too close, and he just pretty much like fucking backed that ass up on his head. He just pretty much like hit him with his hip and stuff, and then as soon as he realized, okay, I didn't measure out distance the right way, he turned around and just started. He went berserk on him. He put a Lineker on him.
Yeah, didn't he hit him like 6 times in the real quick? Yeah. So I remember this fight now. Yeah, he hit him with a body shot. It backed him up. Like you said, he went for that big crazy spinning shot, which he misjudged the distance on. And then immediately, once he realized that was wrong, he stepped back in front of him, got his distance, and just unloaded as many shots as he could, as quick as he could.
Ref called it.
And he wasn't even really hitting him too clean too many times, but he was already hurt. And, bro, he folded. Whenever he folded, like whenever it was too much and he dropped down, the ref immediately called that shit.
Yeah, you're not intelligently fighting
You're not,
yourself.
right? But, again, so it's one of those things where a lot of guys, they don't understand, like, he might not have been, like, a lot of guys think that you got to be, like, beaten to a pulp for the fight to be stopped, right? They don't a lot of noobs don't realize that it's a matter of you don't need to get beaten to a pulp. If you're to the point where you can't necessarily intelligently defend yourself anymore, the fight's over.
No, well, to those guys, I say, like, dude, get in a ring. Go try out a boxing class one day. Sign the waiver. Do a couple of rounds of sparring. You're going to get fucking, like, you're going to get checked, bro. You're going to realize, like, holy fuck, like.
Bro, you might not even need to do that. I'm going to tell you what. I went and watched fights live, like a small promotion. I have a buddy, Dylan, shout out, Killer King, who he's actually been on Fight Pass, fighting with Fury and stuff. And before he was there, I went and saw him fight in Colorado. It was a small venue. Justin Gaethje was there selling gloves. It was
nice.
Neat. It was neat. Got to meet Justin Gaethje. It was dope. It was like real fuck. He would never remember me. I was just like, oh, dude. He was Justin Gaethje.
Right.
But either way, the point is, bro, like those guys getting fucking smacked upside the head with them gloves whenever you're 15 feet away is fucking disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
yeah,
why is there?
You still have those assholes that talk shit.
It's
like,
they're hitting each other so hard. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like if you could even just go and see it and experience it up close, right? And just see how hard these guys are actually getting hit, you might not be calling for so much fucking blood, you meathead.
Yeah.
But the next fight on the card was Joshua Kulabau and Milsik Bagdasaryan.
That was a good fight.
It was a really good fight. Joshua looked great. He looked great.
So that other crazy Armenian dude, dude, you realize who the fuck was in his corner? Good old Edmund Tavardian. Oh, wow. Glendale Fight Club, baby, represent.
Bro, Edmund's been around for forever.
Yeah, fucking Edmund. Oh, fuck. You need a plaque with his fucking face on it or something in here.
Bro, I've got a glove
legend.
signed by Francis Ngannou over there.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah, it's Francis Ngannou.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which,
you know,
man, shout out Francis Ngannou for taking on the establishment for the good of the fighters, bro.
Yeah.
Homie took on the big fight, the fight that no one will take. Everyone says no to that fight, and Francis accepted it.
He's getting a lot of kind of blowback by a lot of people. A lot of the guys, like a lot of the MMA media thinks he'll be back in the UFC. Like it's just a matter of time, which
maybe
more than likely.
Maybe, but I mean, the point is at this point, bro, they're gonna make movies and documentaries about this shit. You realize that at this point, you've got big bald white businessman literally forcing a guy who's trying to stand up for the rest of the fighters out of the organization entirely as he's the heavyweight champion of the world. Like, bro, that's wild.
That's true.
That's wild shit, bro. Like wild.
Yeah, to be fair, he is trying to do the most with this time too. Like it's like, dude, I'm at the top right now. Like I'm worth so much money. Let me get paid that. But also the argument I think was like he wanted like a contract where he could just fly in and out of promotions, like or go do boxing. And they were like, dude, no, that's not how that works. Like,
well, you know, at some point. I'm with Francis. I don't think that it's appropriate that the UFC should own your likeness and tell you what sports you can and cannot participate in while you're under contract. You know,
Yeah, especially
because
if
you're an independent third party. You're 1099, so you're supposed to be, you're responsible for all your own promotion. You're responsible for doing all your own shit, right? But you also can't go do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
and
so
it's
the exclusive contract is what he has a problem with, right? It's like, dude, what the fuck, like.
Well, there's several things, right? He was sticking up for fighter pay and for health insurance for fighters and all kinds of stuff he was gunning for. And at the end of the day, I think he knew he was gonna have to just fall on the sword, right? There's a bunch of shit that he was asking for that they were never gonna come to terms with. Yeah. But at this point, they're gonna make movies and documentaries about it, bro. Like there's gonna be a real life dialogue about this over the next 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Because of what Francis Ngannou did. And so, it's good in 40 years, 50 years, people will look back at this and it'll be one of the big pivotal moments where it's one of the moments where an influential fighter at the height of his career stood up against the organization for the good of the fighters. It's gonna that type of energy though, man. Like this guy was a literal slave, and you're trying to tell this guy who was literally owned that he does not now own his own likeness. You think that's gonna fucking sit well?
Using this like it's gonna be like on the level like some Muhammad Ali shit where he like was like, fuck you, I'm not going, like you can't like draft me. It's gonna be on that level, like of like.
Well, I mean, I don't, that's standing up to the government, and that's a little bit bigger of a stance than necessarily standing up to.
That's fair. Yeah.
Standing up to a fight promotion, and so I don't necessarily.
But as
think
far
it's
as
on that
like,
level, but it's in that same direction though, right? Where like someone's trying to tell a grown man what they can and cannot do with their own life, and they're saying no, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't own me, motherfucker. And so that's I think it's good. I think it's a good thing. I think it's bad what happened to Francis, but I think it's a good fight that he's taken on.
Back to the card. We went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, my bad. This is what I do. Like fucking get high and talk about fights.
I get it. I've had like a couple of sips of that
Thomason
Scotch, yeah.
Thomason, shout out Mikey, birthday bottle. So the last fight on the prelims was Tyson Pedro versus Modestas Bukauskas.
Oh wait, I wanted to. We just mentioned the guys who fought. We didn't mention how the fight went. That Armenian dude, the one who trains out of Glendale,
Melsic?
he was whooping that ass.
Yeah,
he was beating the other guy, and then the other guy found that opportunity, slipped, and jumped on his neck. Yeah, Melsic, there you go. Bagdasarian. I like that fight.
Yeah, it's a fun fight.
That was a fun fight.
Yeah, it's a real fun fight.
To Edmund's credit, he has brought up not a lot, but he's brought up, like, he's had Edmund Shabazian, and now he has this guy. Like, that, aside from Ronda, because a lot of people give him shit, like, oh, Ronda's the only notable name he's had. Yeah, okay, kind of, but, like, he's bringing up some other guys that are like pretty fun to watch.
Top tier superstar, but I mean, how many coaches get more than one or two real superstars?
Fair, yeah.
You know,
true.
like, let's just be real about it, right?
Yeah.
Like even the big talent vacuum gyms don't really get more than one or two, maybe three superstars. They just get a lot more of the like high mid tier guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but my point is like Glendale Fight Club, like they have brought up those two, and I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm like, okay, you had this one and this one. They're both really good fucking kickboxers, really good strikers. Edmund Shabazi and this Melsic guy. So, like, I want to see what happens, how Melsic comes back, like how he does after this one, because that sucks, bro. The motherfucker slipped, or he got clipped. I don't know what happened, and that other dude jumped on his fucking neck. Like
it was fast. Like whenever homie grabbed that neck, it was over.
Yeah, and I thought it was I don't know. He knew he was losing that fucking fight. So as soon as he got that dude's neck, I was like, holy shit! I pulled it off.
Yeah.
Like, he had that look in his face, like fuck yeah, you know. I mean, I would have too, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a fight, you know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you throw big Hail Mary shots, sometimes you fucking jump on the neck, you know.
Yeah, you have those guys that like knock someone out and walk off, you know, like Mark, like, yeah, that was gonna happen. But this guy was like, oh shit, like fucking, I got you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Mark Hunt's a whole different breed. Mark Hunt's a goddamn wild man.
Yeah. So the next one, was, sorry, interrupted you. Tyson Pedro and Modestas Bukauskas.
Yeah.
Was that did that Modestas dude? Did he take that fight on short notice?
Yeah, he did. And this was also after a long hiatus away from the UFC. Yeah, and I was pulling for Tyson Pedro.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I don't know why.
I tend to like to go for the Samoan guys.
I get it. I don't think I really had a dog in this fight, to be honest. I just wanted. I don't know. I was pretty impressed with the Modestus dude.
Yeah, he looked really good. He clearly did well with his time away from the UFC and came back stronger. He looks good. It's going to be really, really interesting to see what they feed, who they feed him to next, and it's also going to be interesting to see what happens with Tyson Pedro. He's a fun fighter. It's always a fun fight. I hope he doesn't get cut or anything like that. Hopefully they are able to. Hopefully they're able to keep some fights going. We'll see. We'll see with that.
All right, out of the main card.
So Jimmy Crute and Alonzo Menifield. Shout out Alonzo. My buddy Aaron went to college with this guy at Texas A&M Commerce. Played football with him. Yeah, we sponsored him with Rat Extremities for a little while until things go how they go. But it's a long story, man. It was being managed by one of my business partners and fell out of contact, and just God knows. But fought to a draw. I wasn't mad at that. Yeah.
Were they talking about like post fight? They were like, "We'll run it again. We'll run it back again," or something like that.
Yeah, they were
How
both.
the fuck was it a draw? Did someone get docked a point, or I don't know why I don't remember this one.
So I mean, I don't remember the exactly what the scorecards were. Two of them were 28-28. I remember two of them being 28-28. And so I think they may have given somebody a 10-8 round. I ain't exactly sure.
I think Menifield got that probably the first round
Oh,
was
I know
10-8,
what the
right?
fuck happened. Menifield. Alonzo, it's a veteran move. I ain't mad at you because most of the time you don't get docked a point for it, but he grabbed the cage.
Oh, yeah.
Alonzo grabbed the cage and kept Jimmy Crute from taking him down, and they docked a point. And it was the third time he'd done it in the fight. So they took a point. I wasn't mad at the point take when it happened. And then he still fought to a draw. So this is another one of those situations where, in my heart, Alonzo did enough to win the fight, and just the point got taken away.
But those fucking takedowns, man, they can fucking change the
I mean,
whole fucking
the real truth is that if he had gotten taken down, he might have gotten finished. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? That's where Jimmy Crute wants to fight.
He could have very well lost that one round.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just one of those things where you never know how it would have went. It got fought to a draw. They're probably going to run it back. It's going to be a great fight then too. One thing that I will say about Alonzo is that, and I don't know, maybe he was more comfortable doing it this fight because he was the longer, rangier fighter. But he worked his jab very effectively. You know what I'm saying? Alonzo in a bunch of his previous fights has seemed like he hasn't necessarily worked his way in with the jab. And I say worked his way in with the jab, right? Because he's always been fighting. He fights at 205, and you're fighting Ovince St. Preux, who's humongous, and guys like that. And so he's always the shorter guy. He's always got the shorter reach, and he's always having to work his way in, right? And it seems like he has some difficulty working his jab to close the distance, right? You pump the jab into their face, keep them worried about that, and then all of a sudden you're a little bit closer and you can land the shot. Whereas whenever he was the taller fighter and the longer, rangier fighter, because Jimmy Crute's got gator arms, he seemed really, really comfortable pumping the jab out all the time whenever he had the reach advantage. And so, I don't know if the utilization of the jab is something that they've worked into the game plan and he's more comfortable with now, or if it's just an effect of him being the taller fighter. But I hope to see more effective jab work out of Alonzo Menifield moving forward, because it's a big differentiator. It's a big deal, and I think it's one of the things that can help him as a shorter fighter at 205 really get him over the hill.
I remember that fight a little vaguely though, but is it me or did Alonzo try to go for the fucking kill in the first round and maybe gas himself a little bit, or was it just that much of a brawl?
It seemed like it was just that much of a brawl. I mean, I know he definitely went for the kill in the first round, but it didn't seem as though he gassed necessarily out.
Okay.
It seemed like his gas tank held up pretty damn good throughout the entire fight, to be real honest. So it was a good fight. It was a really good fight. Jimmy Crute, got him up against the cage, got him taken down a couple times. Interesting fight. I'm going to be happy to watch it again.
Now to the next one. Jack Della Maddalena versus Randy Brown, bro.
No, there was actually a fight between here and there.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm just so excited to talk about that one fight, dude. But anyways, Justin Taffa versus Parker Porter. That was a pretty quick one.
Yeah, well, so it won't be too long to talk about either. So I had actually thought that Parker Porter was going to get it done. I thought that Parker Porter was going to in his last couple fights, it seemed like he was looking really good, and he was pushing the pace on guys really well and getting them pushed up against the cage, and I thought he'd be able to do that against Justin Taffa, but no, dude, Justin Taffa landed, like, what was it, a big, I think it was like a straight left? Something.
They caught him coming in, right?
Yeah, but I think it was like a straight. I think caught him with a straight on the way in and just lights out. Like Mark Hunt walk-off status, bro. Like we were talking about earlier. Dude was like, "What's up?" and fucking walked off. It was pretty fucking legendary, man. It was like tops, bro. Big Justin Taffa fan.
He's fun to watch.
Bro, whenever you're starching guys like that, even if the fight, here's the thing that I think a lot of people don't necessarily know how to wrap their heads around or articulate about the heavyweight fights, is that because there isn't as much action, people say that they aren't as entertaining. But the level of suspense that you have in a heavyweight fight is insane, because any one of those dudes can land a straight right hand or a check left hook and send the other guy to fucking space. Like, he didn't even, like, Taffa didn't even do some big haymaker overhand right shit that you see the 155-pound guys having to do to generate the type of power they need to knock guys out. You know, like, it's just like a...
The margin, the margin for error is so small.
Stipe Miocic backing up, putting fucking Verdum to sleep, bro. Like, there's...
Okay, Stipe Miocic fucking bum rushing... or not bum rushing, but just... thinking he hurt Ngannou and then fucking just stepping in just in range of that check hook.
He did hurt Ngannou. It's just like
not enough.
Exactly, and he was too hurt. Like you can't step into firing range when you're that hurt already against someone who has that much punching power. He needed to take a step back.
I just think when he caught Ngannou, and then as he kind of like marched in, he's like, okay, I gotta time this right. And I don't think he anticipated that little hook to be as effective as it was. Because when he walked over to him...
Well, and it kind of dropped out of nowhere, too. He kind of, like, brought it up from his hip, too.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't, like, from up here, you know? It's like his hands were way down. And
it was kind of out of his peripheral. So a lot of guys, a lot of guys that, like, throw the jab from their hip, they were real good at like, not telegraphing it because, like, it's out of kind of your peripheral. Like, who does that? Robert Whittaker. He'll shoot the jab from his side, from his hip. He'll have his right pretty much where it's supposed to be, like along here, and then he'll kind of keep this one here. And then when he fires that off, it's kind of like it's not like here where you can kind of it's in view, it's there.
Yeah, right. Like whenever you're fighting and you're this close, and they're bringing the punch up from down here. Hey, Mikey.
Sorry.
When you're fighting and your fist is down here and you bring it up, like it's outside of your field of vision, right? So it's sneaky, right? And I think that's what happened with Francis. He has had his hand way down here and just brought it up and snuck it in on him. But to the subject of the fight card that we're on right now, Jack Della Maddalena and Randy Brown.
Dude, fuck that Maddalena dude. I've watched like since like his past 2 fights. I saw him fight some like Hispanic dude who made like a short notice, like, and oh fuck, dude, I'm about that guy, bro. Maddalena, he's fucking badass. He hits like a fucking tank, bro. He's just like, and then I like his technique, bro. His shit is pretty to watch, you know, and he's a fun fighter to watch. He's mean as shit, bro.
Yeah, you can tell he's got a mean streak, like a for real life mean streak.
His nose is on the other side of his fucking face. Like, I like the guy, man. He seems like a cool dude to probably drink a beer with. He's what, 26? The way he fights, bro, like, I fucking like that guy a lot.
He's gonna trend positively for a while, man. Like
his past 2 fights, he's been fucking people up. Am I tripping, or who did he call out? Did he call out Jeff Neal?
He's a welterweight. I don't remember who he called out.
Why am I thinking that? Jeff Neal's fighting who?
Hell, I don't know.
Why do I think him and Jeff Neal? I don't know why, but maybe just because those are 2 dudes that I'd want to see fight.
Would be a fun fight.
Yeah, Randy Brown. Shit, man, he was doing good until he wasn't.
Yep. Yep. I was pulling for Randy Brown too. I mean, like you said, it's fun to watch. I really. Yeah, it's Geoff.
Geo, yeah. So Madeline, it was Pete Rodriguez. That's who he beat. That's the first time all first round finishes. KO'd him, and then he fought Ramazan Emeev. Never heard of him, but
Imavov.
Yeah, no, Emeev. Anyways, KO'd him in the first round, or TKO'd him. Danny Roberts, I saw that fight. KO TKO in the first round. And now KO TKO of Randy Brown, bro.
Well, submitted him in the first round.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Yeah,
But-
he clipped him and then jumped on him. And,
Yeah.
But, dude, and yeah, Randy Brown is no fucking slouch either.
Not at all.
Rude boy, nah, man. So that was a big win in Perth, in his hometown. Like, yeah, dude, Jack.
Good for his brand. Good for everything. Real good. Real good.
Jack D, bro, that motherfucker. I like that guy. He's fucking cool. I look forward to watching him fight. That was one of the fights I look forward to the most on the card.
And it lived up, right?
Yeah.
It's a fun fight, right? Like it wasn't like Jack was light years ahead of Randy Brown, right? He was just the better fighter that night for sure.
He timed it, and he's got fucking dynamite in his hands, bro. That gazelle punch, he circled off to his right, and gazelle punch, boom, caught him. And then he was like, whoa, shit, that hurt a little more than it should have. And then, oh, fuck, I'm in the ground. And, yeah.
Your wobbly legs. That's funny.
Yeah, dude.
But then, dude, the next fight on the card was Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett. And I actually forgot that. So on my previous podcast, I had said that I thought Josh Emmett was going to win. And I also was thinking, I had forgotten that it was for an interim belt. So I was thinking that it was a 3-round fight. So I was thinking that Josh Emmett would be able to kind of push the pace a little bit more than he was able to. But, dude, Yair Rodriguez looked way big. Like, big. Looked way bigger than Josh Emmett. And Josh Emmett's usually a pretty big guy at featherweight. You know, he usually looks bigger than his opponents. And Yair looked way bigger than him. And, dude, the body kicks. The body kicks from Yair were insane. It just... He threw a couple and managed to hurt Josh and got him backing up. And, like, at that point, Josh was never able to get the momentum going forward. Like, I feel like the only way Josh was going to win is if he was in boxing distance, right? In the whole fight.
Yair was never going to let that shit happen.
Well, you know, you got to fucking bite down on that mouthpiece and walk through the fire to where you have the advantages in real life, you know? And
there was an exchange where he clipped him and Yair was like, whoa, holy shit, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've always been critical about Yair is I don't think he does well in boxing exchanges. He's always, let me throw my couple of shots, let me throw my combo, and let me get the fuck out. And he circles out kind of more or less how guys that I see don't like to be in exchanges do. You know, he'll throw like his right, and then he'll slip out the other way, or right, and kind of, you know, he does this whole, he doesn't like to stay in exchanges.
Yeah.
He'll throw from out here, and then what he does too is like kind of almost like what you don't want to see in a guy do is kind of purposely kind of like angle their head out just a little more than it needs to, where he'll throw and he's like, whoa shit, whoa shit, whoa, and whatever, dude, it's effective, it works. I was surprised how well he did against Holloway, considering how good of a boxer Holloway is. I was like, oh okay, but I don't know, man. It's he's proven me wrong a couple of times, and actually,
but it looks like he has a tendency to be averse to the fire, right? Like,
yeah,
when it
exactly.
really comes down
You've seen
to
it too, right? Okay, yeah.
I think a lot of people have seen that. I think that even other fighters have mentioned that in their interviews. Like,
and they still get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or beat up.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's just like
shit. Yeah. It's real life. Like, the guy's super talented, and
I've trained with the what's his name, his coach, with Yair's coach. His name's Mike Vaya. I've trained with him.
That's dope.
He's he used to like have a Muay Thai gym in my neck of the woods, 5 hours south in the valley, called Thai Champs. He was actually the Muay Thai instructor for my Muay Thai instructor also.
That's lit.
Yeah, dude. So that's
super cool.
It's to me, it's like badass. Like somewhere, and actually, Yair's Muay Thai head coach, he was born in the same city where I was born, in Mexico.
That's fun.
So yeah,
that's
dude. It's for me. It's like, oh, that's fucking cool. Yeah, no
got
shit.
Like a little like that's.
And I remember when I was younger and I was training, he did like a little seminar kind of thing, like at our gym, like where I used to train. He kind of came over and was like, hey, you know what? I'll work with you guys, and it was cool. And now to see him where he's at, I remember when he left the valley where I was from. When he left Westago, he actually went to go work with Greg Jackson in Albuquerque. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Mike Vias in Albuquerque? Badass. And then all of a sudden, he moved to Chicago and started his own gym out there. And when he moved to Chicago, I think he took one of the guys from Albuquerque who worked really close with Greg Jackson, those dudes out there. Some guy named Izzy. I forgot his last name, but Izzy, he's like, Izzy Wrestling is like his little, how he labels his
little brand.
Yeah, exactly. And so now I think that's like the wrestling coach, some Hispanic dude named Izzy, and then Mike Valle is the head coach of Valley Flow Striking or Valley Striking. I forgot what it's called in out of Chicago. But dude, anyways, I'm just happy to see that guy won and like to see who his coach is, and I have some little time. Like that's badass.
It's like the whole team. Happy for the whole team, not just happy for Yair. Happy for the guys coaching him and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
and being Mexican, well, you know, we're just we
gang, gang, bro.
We always
gang.
trying to room for our own, bro, and I'm shamefully a little racist. No, but it was. I didn't expect him to do as well as he did.
Neither did I.
Really did not.
You know, and again, I really think that the difference in the entire fight were the body kicks. I think that Josh Emmett really had to respect Yair Rodriguez's range that he wanted to establish because he couldn't walk through the fire of those body kicks. Like he was going to have to eat a few body kicks to get where he needed to, and it got to where he simply couldn't do that anymore, right? Like you got fucking nailed in the liver so many times. Now if you go in and do it again, you're going to fold the fuck up.
I thought he was going to get head kicked.
He did get head kicked.
Well,
he got head kicked one really good time in like the third when it finished in the second, right? So like in the second round, bro, towards the on the back half of the second round, he head kicked the fuck out of Josh Emmett, bro. Yeah. Well, one real good time.
I think so, but it was partially blocked, right? But it was enough to be like, holy shit.
I don't quite remember. I know that all I know is that it was a head kick and it was effective.
Yeah.
And I remember calling for it because he'd been kicking him in the body. Someone was like, he's gonna kick that fool in the head because it was to the point where Josh Emmett was walking in like this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro,
he was anticipating the body kick.
Yeah,
like,
you walk in covering up your ribs, your head's fucking open.
He was here and then had like what they call the guide hand. Like you block with your forearm, but then you also have your guide hand to kind of like soften the blow a little bit on your arm so you don't break your fucking arm. But he was kind of like, yeah, you anticipate that all of a sudden. Your head is exposed.
He got binked. He got binked one good time, and Yair, his aggressiveness out of his guard was really impressive.
Yeah, I like what he did.
I was really impressed by that.
I like
That's
how
some old school UFC shit, bro.
Yeah, I like how he stretched his hips out to like kind of like
get that leverage for those ground strikes.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Kind of like I guess the same like what you would do in a clinch, where you would kind of like pull in. Is he kind of did that with his hips for the elbow?
He was able to generate some extra torque.
Cool.
Generate some extra torque from the bottom, bro. You could tell that Josh didn't like that shit either. No. Like he did not fucking like it.
He froze up a couple of times, like, "Yo, fuck, what am I supposed to do now?"
Well, and he hit him one time with a hammer fist like that too, and it hit him right on the fucking jaw. And you saw Josh Emmett go, "Fucking what the fuck." Like you could tell he was not ready to get.
Yeah.
You know what I started having flashbacks of whenever he hit him with that hammer fist? Whenever motherfucking Nico Price knocked out Jacare.
Randy Brown.
No, he knocked out
Randy Brown.
Yeah, it was.
It was Randy Brown from the weird guard. It was a hammer fist.
That's not what. Because he was kind of on top of him. It was Jacare Souza.
Oh, you mean with Kevin Holland?
Yeah, Kevin Holland, not Nico Price. Excuse me.
But Nico Price actually knocked out Randy Brown with the weird little. He was on the bottom and he was in a weird transition, and his Randy Brown's head was like his neck was
and
around.
It like hooked him there, right?
Yeah,
he couldn't get away.
Yeah,
it was. That's such a crazy spot.
That one too was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was a real wild spot. But yeah, so excuse me. I was having flashbacks of how Kevin Holland knocked out Jacare Souza.
Yeah, you're right. He did, and then he was like, "Whoa, that hurt."
Yeah,
back for a second.
And so, and like you could tell, like I could tell the way it hit his jaw. Like you can tell sometimes whenever guys aren't quite ready for it, and it kind of like jacks their jaw real quick. And I saw it jack his jaw real quick, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And you could see that was whenever the tide kind of turned in that whole exchange on the ground.
Yeah,
and he got him with a triangle choke, right?
Triangle, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting hit in the jaw when you don't expect like that, you get stunned. I remember one time some girl I dated, I pissed her off. And I was being a smart ass saying something. I was being real dismissive, like, yeah, whatever, fucking, you always say that, blah, blah, blah. And she fucking chin checked me. and I remember my shit shook. I just remember like me having to like really like hold like my fucking like my balance, focus my balance, because I remember she hit me and she like hammer fisted me in the mouth like a typical girl punch, but damn, like it fucking had its effect. She, you know, like, and so I remember like getting chin checked and like, whoa, like, yeah, like, hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, you got assaulted, man.
Yeah, I got assaulted, fucking bitch. Anyways, but
she deserves that.
I probably deserved it. I probably had it coming. I've had a few of them coming, but yeah, I just remember that shit. Like one of the times getting chin checked.
You better be glad you weren't fucking Dana White.
I know, right? Fucking slap league. No,
Dana White laid it on that.
Nah,
lady.
I didn't care, bro. Like, she's, I don't know. This one girl I dated fucked me up quite a bit, but I just remember like getting chin checked, and I was like, I should have been smarter instead of being like, yeah, okay, yeah, like being very nonchalant about it and like kind of like rolling my eyes, and then she just like, all right, motherfucker, bow. I was like, oh, I should have known you're Hispanic.
Spicy ass.
Hell yeah. But anyways, yeah, when you get chin checked good, you fucking, ooh, what was that? I don't like that. Like, yeah.
So funny. But so at the end of the day, Yair Rodriguez put on a hellacious performance, striking clinic, triangle choke finish, super impressive on all accounts, man. And then the main event, Islam Makhachev, Alexander Volkanovski. Who you feel like won that?
Man,
who you felt like won it? Whenever, like, who did you think was gonna get their hand raised? Whenever they was about to do it, who'd you think had it?
Makhachev.
I thought Makhachev had it too, man. I thought he had it 3-2.
Yeah, man. I thought he won like the first, second, and fourth round, maybe.
Listen, man.
I don't know.
All I give a fuck about is the number of, like, who hurt the other guy worse, you know? And like, bro, Makhachev rocked Volkanovski like 3 or 4 fucking times, like knocked him down twice for sure, and binked him a few really good times. The only thing that really made it, the thing that I think is fucking up a lot of people is that there's
the fifth round.
There's recency bias, right? Where like you see Volkanovski, like, bro, if it were Pride rules, Volkanovski won that fight, right? Like if the fight were to go to infinity, who was going to win? Volkanovski was finna win that fight.
Yeah.
Like if that bell hadn't rang and they just let them fucking fight till there was a winner, Volkanovski was gonna win that fight.
Yeah.
Islam was tiring out. Volkanovski was fucking hulking out, Volkanovski was getting going, bro. It felt like Volkanovski was just getting going as the 5th round did.
Yeah, he caught his like second, third, whatever, fourth.
You know,
gear.
I just think that guy just keeps going to infinity, right? And like he was just now really starting to get ramped up. Like he could feel Islam starting to break under him, right? And you could see the confidence mounting in him, where like he knew that it had turned, that the moment had come where he was starting to have like the physical advantages in the fight because he had more gas. But at the end of the day, that's not how these fights work. It's a 5-round fight, and you know, I felt like there were 2 rounds for sure where Islam got knockdowns, and I felt like he won. And then I know there was another round where Islam binked him once or twice, and I felt like he won that round. And I only would even say that, like, I feel like if that fight had happened a year ago, they'd have given it to Volkanovski.
Why is that?
Well, so there's been a change in how they're judging the fights. You familiar with this?
No. Fill me in.
So, Big John McCarthy was one of the people who threw a big fit about this shit for a long time. Even like got on his podcast and talked shit about it, and was like, "Y'all, I'm the guy who wrote the fucking rules. Listen to me about how this is supposed to happen." And basically, up until about a year ago, you know how there's that hierarchy of things to consider, right? Damage, aggression, octagon control, all that. So they were basically treating that like a spectrum of how you should consider it, right? And so like if someone did slightly more damage, but the other guy had way more octagon control, they could say that octagon control time outweighed that damage, right? Makes sense, right? That's how that's how it's always been, right?
Which kind of like whatever favors the wrestler.
Well, again, so that's not how it's supposed to fucking be. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a hierarchy where if you only consider the next thing if it's indifferentiable up top, right? So like if you go to damage and all things are equal, then you consider aggression. And if you look at aggression and all things are equal, then you look at octagon control. And if all things are equal, then you look at the next thing. But if at any step in that chain there's a clear victor, that's the fucking winner.
Yeah. So
someone dealt more damage. It's a fucking fight, but we're trying to hurt one another. He hurt that guy worse. He won. you know. And Big John literally made this case several times on his podcast, and about, you know, maybe 6 months to a year ago, bro, there started to be a distinct change in like the vibe, right?
Yeah.
And like I've heard several people talk about it on their podcasts and stuff, where like now the number one thing is damage. They're looking at damage, like the Michael Bisping fight with
Dan Henderson, the second one.
yeah, bro. If that were judged these days, that'd have been a Henderson fight. They'd have gave that to Dan Henderson.
Henderson even said, like, I wish they would have judged it based on how we look. He said something to that effect.
I
like
think
a
it was
joke.
Bisbing said, "Thank God they don't judge it based on how we look, because look at me." But either way, like, it's facts, and it's good for them back in the day, because nowadays it's based on damage, and you know that fight would have been going the other way probably. And so, you know, I've gotten a few fights wrong where they were about to raise the hands because I'm still thinking about it the old way, and I've gotten better at it. And you know, luckily, like, I felt I called it right as they were about to raise the hands because I was considerate of the new way that they're judging. So
Yeah.
that's something to be considerate of. How long have we been going?
55.
55. So we need to get this going pretty quick. So I mean, we both felt like Islam did it right.
I think he did enough, but to Volkanovski's credit, he did a lot better than I had anticipated. And also, if they would have gave him the fight, I wouldn't have argued it. I'd be like, you know what? All right, man. Somebody was like, I had a buddy who was like, who do you think won? I was like, it's debatable. And he's like, I think they should have at least done it a draw. I'm like, yeah, I won't argue that either, man.
I wouldn't have been mad with a draw. You know, I wouldn't have been mad. Honestly, I mean, it's one of those things where they were on the edge. It could have went either way, you know?
Yeah.
And just at the end of the day, I'm just describing why I feel like it went the way that it went once it went to the judges. Like, bro, if you don't want there to be any ambiguity, you have to finish the fight. And I know that's real fucking easy for me to say from my fucking armchair as I do armchair mixed martial arts, but like, it's the facts. If you want the judges out of it, you got to take the judges out of it.
Yeah.
You know? And so...
Make it very black and white. Leave no gray area. It's like, dude, let's...
But so, what's next for both these guys? What do you think?
Well, Volkanovski already said I'm gonna go back down and fight Yair.
That's right.
I have a clear
They
contender.
got a big fight to build up now down at featherweight.
But I think he did say after watching the fight, he made like a Twitter post saying something like
He felt like he won.
he won and he wants a rematch or something.
Yeah, he felt like he won 3-2.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, if you want to, like, I don't know. If you want a rematch, I feel like you need to vacate that belt. You know, you can't just you can't have an interim champion defending an interim belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, that needs to be Yair's division. If you're going to go ahead and, you know, take another 6 to 8 months to prepare for another fight and do that and hold the division up for an entire year, like, bro, come on. You know, we got to get things moving at featherweight.
Yeah, I listened Unlocking the Cage on Fight Nation on SiriusXM with Jimmy Smith. Is that his name? Right? Jimmy Smith, the guy who used to be the commentator for Bellator.
Yeah, he was like their bald white guy, their
Joe
Rogan.
Rogan,
Yeah.
bro.
He was good. I like Jimmy Smith.
There can only be one. That's why he got fired from UFC.
Yeah.
But anywho, that guy, he made an argument like, is Yair like a credible champion? And they make references to previous fights. Look at him with Frankie Edgar. Oh, well, that was a younger Yair. Okay, fair. Well, look what Max Holloway did to him. Ooh, that's fairly recent, you know? That was like at least 2 years ago, at least. So it's like, is he credible? Like, if Volkanovski does vacate or leaves that division and says, no, I want to pursue 155, which I don't think is going to happen. But,
I mean, they've already said that's not what he's intending, right?
Yeah. But, yeah, he's just better built for 145. Yeah, I just, man, like, I like Yair. Obviously, dude, fucking hate to say it, but I'm always gonna root for the fucking brown dude. And depends. No. Unless he's like Indian, then no. But my point being,
there was
like,
actually an Indian guy who fought on the Sergey on the Spivak Lewis card.
Terrible.
Yeah, what was his name?
From India?
Yeah, the King of Lions.
Oh shit! I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, he's one of the winners of the road to Anshul Jubilee.
You know what? I'm not even
7-0 wrestler type. One of two Indian fighters on the entire roster.
Did he win or lose?
He won.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's how he got onto the roster, and he like dominated. He looked really good. He's 7-0.
I'm not fond of those people, bro. Mostly because I just got stood up by an Indian chick. That's why. I got ghosted by an Indian chick. So you know what? I just decided I don't like you people.
Well, you know, that's fair. That's fair. I am mad at that. It's like, man, that's the whole race. They fucking ghosted me one time. But let's go ahead and look at the next couple fight cards real quick, just leading up to 285. Let's make it kind of quick. So the next card is Jessica Andrade and Erin Blanchfield, which I mean Erin Blanchfield's 10-1. I don't really know enough about her. I mean, you know, Jessica Andrade, you know, out here selling pictures of her asshole on OnlyFans, making hella cash,
That's
whatever.
cute.
I mean, that's her thing, you know. Misappropriation of funds and asshole pictures. But Jordan Wright, Zach Pauga, Josh Parisian, Jamal Pogues, William Knight, Marcin Prachnio, Jim Miller, Alexander the Great.
Hey, I want to see that.
Right? There's some fun fights. It's not a bad card, but you know we're gonna keep it moving just so you guys are generally aware. You know,
dude, you know what? Now that you brought it up, sorry, because I saw one of the canceled fights for that was Sanhagen versus Vera. They're going to be fighting in San Antonio.
Oh, I know. I'm going to be there.
Did you buy your ticket yet?
Nah, but I mean, it's not going to sell out. Listen, if that's the biggest fight they got on the card, it ain't going to sell out.
Okay, Holly Holm is on that card.
No one cares.
I care, dude.
I mean, like no one, like it's not really putting asses in seats,
that's
man.
Fair.
Like
that's funny though.
No one's really. It's not going to put a whole bunch of asses in seats.
Irene Aldana, you know who that is? She's supposed to fight Raquel Pennington, and supposedly this is supposed to decide the next contender at 135, which is weird because Pennington got beat the fuck up by Nunes. So it sucks because I already thought they were going to give.
Nunes retired, right?
No.
Oh, she fought the other Nunes.
Juliana? Wait, which one?
Amanda's wife, dog.
Oh, she's irrelevant to me.
Well, she fought recently and one of them retired.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, if it wasn't Amanda, I mean, Nina?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we used to be Ansarov.
There you go. But, so, they were, supposedly, like, it was already in talks that Irene Aldana, Mexican chick who's actually teammates with Grasso, who's fighting Valentina Shevchenko, they're teammates, both out of Mexico. She was supposed to be like set up to fight Nunes, but I don't know what the fuck happened. Now they made the Raquel Pennington fight, which I'm kind of disappointed. But it'd be cool to go to fucking San Antonio and watch her fight too. So,
bro, we'll text about it, man. I'll let you know whenever we're buying our tickets. We can try and link up. And get there together.
Fuck yeah, nah, dude, definitely, hell yeah.
It's me, my brother, and my business partner Chris. We go to that shit all the time. We went to the Texas Trifecta. We went to every event in Texas last year.
Oh no shit, I went only to the Austin one.
Yeah, we went to all three.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be at San Antonio show.
Okay, yeah, my buddy from back home, he's like the.
Give me a media pass, UFC. Fuck.
My buddy, he's like the, I don't know what the fuck his title is exactly, but he's the goddamn warden of like the fucking juvenile center in like Edinburgh or out there in South Texas, where like they send the most fucked up, murderous, delinquent kids.
Okay.
Like, and he's like the goddamn warden of the fucking place.
Okay.
His shout out, he goes by Mike, but he's Mike Reyes. I won't give out his fucking Facebook name because I think he tries to be more discreet.
Cool.
But I just literally just said his whole fucking title, his job, and
it's like
shit.
Who he is.
Anyways, he's my homie.
His home address.
He's my homie. I like talking to him because he's got like his fucking, like his master's in clinical psychology, and his wife's working on his PhD. So they always talk to me about these fucking homicidal kids. He's like, you don't get it, bro. These fucking kids are terrible. I'm like, tell me more. But it's a trip. But anyways,
they're little fucking maniacs.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's like your own little personal fucking murder crime podcast every time you go talk to them.
Oh, dude, I should fucking that's a great fucking idea. And like he's got the insight. Like he talks to these little bastards, like, and then he has like their future in the palm of his hand. He's like, I can send you like you know to
where any fucking deep dark hole.
Yeah. It's like you can go like to fucking state jail, or I can send you to like. You know, like
rehab or what have you.
Exactly, yeah.
We can get you moving back into society, or I can shove you deeper into the pit.
Exactly, I can institutionalize you even more, motherfucker. But yeah, anyways, he talks about he's probably gonna be there as well. That guy's fun to talk to.
Neat.
Just
Cool.
because he's cool as hell, dude. Like,
Well,
he's,
maybe, there's usually like a standing area. We'll go stand, drink a beer, talk some shit.
he doesn't drink, but
You know.
he's still cool.
Stand around and socialize. I really
Yeah.
don't drink. Like, you don't see me drinking, I hit fucking dabs on me.
Okay, dude. Like, honestly, I was sober like until New Year's Eve was the last time I had drank, and then like a fucking pussy, I went out with this girl, and I got like kind of peer pressured myself into drinking because I was like, well, I don't want to be out here not drinking, and then I fucking like fucked up and drank like last Tuesday or something like that, and I was like, why did I do that last Thursday? And I kind of regret it. So now I'm just like, well, whatever. I drank last time. I'm gonna have a drink tonight.
As long as you're not doing anything unhealthy with it, right? It's fine.
I'm gonna go speed right now down fucking here in Taylor.
Well, hang out. Make sure you sober up before you go.
Nah, I'm good.
We'll make sure that you get plenty of time between now and the roadway. But
You can't stop me, bro. I got my keys. You fucking anyways, I'm just fucking around.
but so the next card is Nikita Krylov and Ryan Spann.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a fun fight. And then UFC 285 is John Jones and Cyril Gahn, bro, and Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso, Jeff Neal, which Jeff Neal actually likes the podcast.
Do you like Jeff Neal? We like Jeff Neal.
Yeah, we do. Bo Nichols on the card.
Oh shit, it's 285. That's in Vegas, right?
I ain't sure.
Holy shit, I forgot. Neal's fighting fucking Rachmanov.
Yeah.
Shavkat, dude. Holy shit.
That's not a fun fight.
No, dude.
That's a tough fight.
Good fucking luck, bro.
Who you got in the John Jones Cyril Gahn fight?
I don't know, man, because we haven't seen John Jones at heavyweight. So all this extra weight he put on, how is he going to carry it? How is his gassing going to be?
We know that Cyril Gahn can jump rope for 25 minutes. We know for a fact homie can bounce around that ring and whip your ass for 25 minutes.
Yeah, and he's super technical. The way he moves for a guy his size, like that karate style on the balls of his feet all the time.
Unbelievable.
And he's been hit hard. He's been hit by Tai Tuivasa, who
rocked him.
Fucking
Rocked him.
He stayed in. He turned fucking Ngannou into a wrestler.
Yeah, wasn't Ngannou on a blown ACL?
I don't give a shit. He's still okay. I'm not totally disregarding that, but still, even Ngannou was like, "Yeah, my leg's fucked up. Like, I don't have the I can't risk the movement with this guy. This guy, I've trained him. He's just as big. He's technical. I'm gonna take him down."
Yeah.
So like, there's guys that like didn't. Who was it? Anyways, point being is he's still turned him into a fucking wrestler.
The point is he's gonna be everything that John Jones can handle. It ain't gonna be no easy fight for John Jones.
My biggest concern is because Ngannou was able to out-grapple Cyril Gahn, is what's going to happen when he fights John Jones, who's known for being like one of the best wrestlers in MMA, regardless of like if you're an Olympian, if you're this guy, that guy, the guy, like, oh yeah, Juco,
in real life, John Jones is that guy. That's the bottom line.
In
real life, John Jones
it's
is
like,
that
yeah, your shit
guy.
looks good on paper, bro, Yeah, whatever. I lost to fucking Matt Riddle when I was a kid, but in the cage, in a real fight.
Like where I can punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Where I can kick you in the face, where I can put you in a key lock, bro. I got you.
Yeah, it's like my wrestling is better than yours. Like, I'm going to stuff your shit and I'm going to throw you when I want to. So
that's what I think is going to happen. I think that John Jones is going to be able to get his hands on him, push him up against the cage. And, like, I don't know exactly how it's going to look, but I know that John Jones is really, really smart and does what he needs to. He'll take his time, find the path of least resistance.
He'll run away from an exchange if he has to.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the bottom line is he's going to poke and prod and figure out where Cyril's weak, and he's going to fucking go there until he breaks him, or the fight ends before that point and he wins on points. It's that simple.
I'm trying to think of a guy that Jones has fought that's similar to Cyril Gahn.
The guy who comes to my mind is Thiago Santos.
He's not as technical as Gahn. He is not.
Oh, he's black belt.
In what?
Muay Thai, where they give belts out in Brazil.
I still do not think he's as technical as Cyril Gahn.
Cyril's on a whole other planet.
Dude, that guy he's one of those guys where I just like to watch. Just like, even if other people think it's boring, he's so technical. It's just beautiful the way he moves in and out, and
it's appreciable. It's something you can appreciate at this point. You've been
dude.
watching long enough. It's neat to see someone do everything so technically perfect.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like, a lot of people can't appreciate it just because if you've never been in a ring and either practice some form of martial arts where you know more or less what you're watching, as opposed to just like, like people that talk shit about Mayweather. It's like because you don't know what you're watching. It's like you try to do what the fuck he does.
Well, and that guy also don't knock people out because he's broken his hands. Like, he punches so hard he breaks his hands.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things. But either way. Yeah, exactly. But
I love watching
man, we're at over an hour. Let's just go ahead and skip out on the news section of this, man.
We
usually try and keep this to an hour or less, and we're way over an hour at this point. And it's been a super fun combo. I feel like this one went really well. I appreciate you so much for coming in and offering your 2 cents on everything, bro. We'll definitely link up and do it again sometime, man.
Fuck yeah, I'm more than willing to come in and shit. This is a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing this one, man.
Shoot your shot at me anytime. Like you said, you saw how easy this was.
Girl, I just might my Valentine tonight, bro. You know that?
Bro, what's up? We're having a fucking we got 3 dudes in the studio. What's up?
Fucking sausage fest. Yum yum yum.
But at any rate, guys, everybody, this is Noe Lopez again. Thank him for coming on.
Thank you, man, for having me.
Yeah. I'm Joshua, as always. Armchair MMA. That's the UFC 284 preview, or what was it? 284 review? Yeah, 284 review. Armchair MMA. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Gang, gang.
Monkey mouth. Monkey mouth. Monkey mouth. Monkey mouth.